Hello guys, Joe Burgess again on this channel. Thank you for dropping by and joining me one more time, and welcome to our part 3 of what's in my pedal board. This time I'm gonna give you a glimpse of what my driven rhythm sounds like. So I gave you a glimpse of what my pedalboard bank arrangement in part 1, and then what my clean tones sound like and how it's set up on the second part. Today is the third part, and I'm gonna show you what my rhythm tone sounds like on the MG300. And it's still the same setup. I'm using the Jcraft S2HC with the Hotrails for the neck, the middle, and the bridge pickup. For the clean tones, I'm using mostly the neck and the middle pickup, but for rhythm tones, the main crunch that I'm using, it's all bridge. With the tone control, the no-load tone pot, all cranked up to 10. Okay. Now, let's go to the second bank. You could remember the dotted is the leftover from the first bank. So I'm gonna go with a slow drive. Here's what it sounds like. If you could remember, the slow drive is the beginning drive that I use whenever you want to, connect the intro going to the verse, to the chorus, and you need this little drive in between. So that's how I will use it. This is what it will sound like with the volume control turned down to probably 5 or 6. I'll turn it up. So it just stays like crazy, right? Okay, so that's my slow drive. I use that as a conjunction between any intro going to the verse, going to the chorus if the song mainly is driven. And then my main rhythm, my main crunch sound is on the 2C and then 2D. The difference is the 2C is the one with a slight gain. It's kind of muffled in a sense. And the D is more in your face because the presence is set higher than 2C. Also the gain is set higher. But basically this is what 2C sounds like. That's my 2C. If you compare it to D, here's what it will sound like. Right? It's more heavier than 2C. So if you'll go and connect them side by side, here's what my 2C will sound like. Rhythm 1 and then rhythm 2. By the way, I'm using the bridge pickup again. Cutting up the volume with the guitar's volume control, but that's about it. Yeah, I have a limitation on just two drives that I use. I'll show you what it sounds like and how it's set up. I think we've came across the dotted already, so beginning with 2A. So we're going to jump to 2B, which is the slow drive. I'll show you how it's set up, so you can pretty much screenshot this if you dig the kind of sound. And then just to show you how my amp is set up. Currently, as of the moment, I'm not using the clean channel. I'm using the drive channel. Okay, but my gain is turned off. Drive volume is 9, treble is at 5, middle is at 5, bass is at 5. I'm just trying to control the volume using the volume pedal, so it's not maxed out yet. So probably three chords or so. Okay, because it's quite loud if I'm going to do this in full. But my slow drive, how it's set up, click on edit. Okay, I hope you can see this. Take note of the gain and the level. Then the amp, like I said, bass, mid, and then treble. I don't use the full treble, because if I'm going to give you an example of what it sounds like at full treble, oh man, it's fizzy. Okay, so it's fizzy as shit. It's like there's a rain shower going in my roof. So I tried to buck down the treble. But here's what it will sound like if I turn the treble all the way down. Okay, let's add up a little volume here. Again, I'm using the bridge pickup. Not gonna hit on anything. I'll just go back one bank at a time. So let's not save that. By the way, I always make it a habit to put all the knobs back into 12 o'clock, because if I left it somewhere in between, somehow it will affect the volume. Volume and tune. So see, you can't hear anything, right? So we'll just leave it at 12 o'clock, and then there you go, the volume starts. Wow. we're back to the slow drive. I'll show what it's set up at. Okay, so in this case, it's for the slow drive. Since I'm using a different amp, it's a deluxe reverb. Notice the bass, mid, and treble. Onwards to the placement, like I've said, we'll always put it on the side, not on the middle. Okay. Slow drive has a compressor, take note of the settings. And then I'm using a tube screamer, tune all the middle. There's my amp, slight gain there. EQ, there we go. Noise reduction, not really for this. And then class chorus for the slow drive. Let me see what will happen if we don't have a chorus. I don't like it, so let's turn the chorus back on. This one's classic. I like it. There's a hint of wave going on, and then that's for my delay. I'm using a slight pan, if you notice, for across my other effects. It's what it is. It pans between left and right, but depending on the time and the feedback, it will affect how that pan happens. So let's go back out of that, go back to slow drive. Okay, so this is my delay, time, and feedback, and then mix, subdivision, still dotted. So let's listen to what it sounds like with dotted. See, if I turn the subdivision, it's so fast, right? If I don't do the subdivision, it's so far. I like it the way I set it up. So I like it that way, right? And then, so we're done with the chorus, pan, and then my plate reverb. Notice the mix and the decay. And pretty much for this type of reverb, you can't do anything with it. But if I do it with a Hall, there's another setup that you can do. Mix decay, pre-delay, and damper. So the pre-delay controls pretty much how much the delay starts even before you hit the note, and then the damper controls basically how big or how thin your note's gonna be. Notice that the notes are basically thinning out as you click on the damper. Let's move it back up. See how it screams? Let's turn that back up. It's so far out, I can't catch it. So let's go back down a bit. Alright, let's go back to the reverb. Next decay. Okay. Oh, alright, let's just go back. Anyway, that's how it is. Alright, so there's my slow drive. So we stop at the plate reverb. And then that's my compressor right there. What's the sound without a compressor? It's not as sensitive as how I made it the first time. So let's back up. Okay, this time with the compressor on. Okay. Yeah, I like it that way. So that's my slow drive. Then we go now to the main rhythm, or the main crunch. Okay, so we can net it, amp, take note of it, my placement, bass, mid, and treble. And again, I don't have a treble for this one. I have the bass slightly reduced. This one is 3/4, I think, so it makes a little bit, it makes the notes a little bit tighter. Turn it too much. It's not defined as much, so let's put this back on 3/4. Okay, so roughly 3/4 on bass, mid and full, treble, and full zero. Okay. Right, okay, and then mic placement. I'm using an Uber amp, which I think is patterned after Bluetooth amp, Mesa Boogie, not really sure. Then the EQ setting, okay. Okay, and then now I have a noise reduction because it's a high gain. I need noise reduction, and then I have a slight modulation in this one, although the modulation for the harmony is mixed really low. Then I have the modulate as a delay. Take note of the time and the feedback, mix and mod, and then the subdivision still dotted. Okay, the reason why I chose dotted most of the time is because of the repeat. Sorry. Right? It's not too much because the repeat that I have, or the feedback that I set up, is not too high. Missed that note. Okay, but anyway, you get a picture. So this modulate, and then reverb. It's quite dry. I'm using a plate reverb with the mix turned down low. Decay. This also middle of the road. And then you have the compressor. So this rhythm 1. Okay. So you can take a screenshot of those, see if you dig that sound. Right, so that's my rhythm 1. I call it a pop rhythm, and I guess you know why, pop rock rhythm. And then moving on to 2D, which is my rhythm 2. I call this the metal rhythm because it's more in your face. Right. Pardon if it's too loud because I'm too close to the amplifier. Now, the setup for my 2D, so we can edit. Okay. So that's my second rhythm. Look at the gain, presence, and level. If I'm going to compare to C, look at the gain, the presence, and the level. Right? So that differentiates my light rhythm with a heavy rhythm. Okay, and then almost same setup, bass, mid, although this time I use a little treble because I have to define that chug a little bit. Right? Compared to the gain, presence, and level of my first rhythm. Also the bass, mid, and treble is different. See that? Okay, so moving ahead, I'm still using the Uber cab and amplifier. Look at the EQ, noise reduction, of course. We need that for the high gain application, and then modulation. I also have the harmony on this one, but this one is set really low. Okay, hope you can see that here. I need the harmony so that I can layer the individual chords or the individual notes within those chords. That's why I use the harmonies, but not too much, as you don't want the individual notes to harmonize and be noticeable. So I just keep it really down low, so that way when you hit on the individual notes, you don't hear the individual notes being harmonized that hard, but you can hear the layering. Okay. And then if I remove the layer, let's say, keep it down to nothing. It sounds so thin for me. That's why I use the layering, but it's up to you whether you want to turn on or off. So let's go back up a bit with one. That way we don't have to save on anything. We don't have to tweak on anything. Just go back one step. And you can always go back to the section that you want. Okay, so I have compressor on the rhythm 2. Okay, reverb is turned down low. Decay and mix. Mix is very important because it will tell you how much the repeat is, similar to the delay. Oh God, look at how dirty that is. But if I turn the mix really down low, here's what it sounds like. If we remove the delay or the reverb, here's what it sounds like. It sounds so dry. I can live without the reverb, but it sounded too dry for me, especially when it comes to the mix. You don't know what location you're gonna play with, so it's better to have a reverb right there, and then when I go into the location, if it's an open area, I can leave the reverb as is. If it's a closed area like an auditorium or some sort, then I can maybe take out the delay or the reverb rather. It depends on the situation, but this rhythm tones again are very interchangeable, so I don't set up my rhythm tones very soft. That way I cannot use it for anything else. I play metal and rocks, so that's my forte. So I need my startup or rhythm tone to be crunchy, and then I must have a secondary tone to it. So how I would use it is I would begin off with a slight crunch, and moving on to the verse and the chorus, then I could use the harder, the heavier kind of crunch. And then as I go on to the pre-solo or pre-interlude section, then I could use the other tones that I have, like the miscellaneous tones, the one with the chorus and flange. That way I don't begin a song and end the song on just one drive. I have variation with that. Okay, so that's my delay and reverb. By the way, this one, if you notice this on the MG300, this basically is your volume control within the effects. If you want effects 1, the preset 1 to have a slightly higher volume than the preset 2, then you can use this. Okay, and then of course I have compression. If I use this without the compression, for example, here's what it will sound like. Let's work up volume a bit. And if I turn up the compressor, notice a slight difference. the chuck is more present with the compressor on. Just be careful about setting up the output and the sensitivity. Set the output way too high, and then you will out volume all the rest of your presets. So you set it up that way, so it's balanced across the board. And then sensitivity, it controls basically how much you hit the strings. If you hit the strings too hard, and then the sensitivity is set probably too high, your amp will just give in. So I'd rather set it up right here and then just control how much I hit the strings with my pick. By the way, I'm using a flow pick with the edges serrated. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, I serrate this. I scrape it across my strings like so. Don't know if you can hear it. Like that, how I serrated. I got that from Brian May. I don't want to use its expense because my right hand is kind of flimsy. I drop things every now and then. So this is the way to go. I want the nose to be raspy when I hit it up. I don't want to hit it with a clean edge because it will sound different. It's like I sounded like an amateur without any emotion when I attack on the strings. I rasp it. Okay. Brian May, I got the method of how to attack strings by Brian May. Chocho, Steve Lukather is my main influence on how to choose notes. The choice of notes came from Steve Lukather. Kirk Hammett, one of my influences as well. I like how he moves around with a pentatonic. Don't know how the guy did that, but yeah, formative years. Brian May, Lukather, and Hammett, those are my formative years guitar teacher from the boob tube. Okay, let's just move this back up a bit. Alright, so pretty much that's my rhythm too. And then watch out for the other installment of my videos. We have 2 more to go, which is my miscellaneous tones and then my solo tones. Basically, this is my rhythm tone and how it was set up. Hope this helps. Screenshot and then try it out for your setup, and hope that you would like the sound. Again, thank you and good night. Have a blessed day, everyone. Thank you for dropping by. Have a good one.